If you spend any amount of time in the marketing world, you've likely heard the phrase, content is king, right? And I think as a school marketer, you probably know how important content is, but with all the hats that you're likely wearing and the things that you need to do from day to day, the idea or thought of sitting down and creating blog content, creating social media content probably seems extremely overwhelming and has probably prevented you from consistently producing the content that you need to produce. So in this video, I'm actually going to share with you 2 ways for you to jumpstart your content creation without actually having to write a single word. And before we get into the content today, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get notified whenever we create new videos just like this one. Hey, Clinton Losh here, Director of Marketing Operations with Independent School Management. And in just a minute, I'm going to share with you the 2 tactics that you can use to create that content really without writing any words. Because frankly, if you're anything like me, you'd probably rather do a million other things than sit down in front of a computer and start typing away at a blog post. I'll just be staring at a blank screen all day. But before we get into the tactics, I really need to talk to you about the importance of content right now. All right, so again, you probably heard the phrase, content is king. You know, here's a little fun fact for you if you're wondering where that phrase actually came from. Bill Gates actually said it back in 1996 in one of his essays, where he was talking about how the internet is really just going to become a marketplace of content. So content is king, content in general, nothing new. Here's what is new and that you really need to know when it comes to your content and its importance. So there's been a lot of research out there these days about content marketing, and the number that you need to have in your head is the number of 70%. Maybe you've heard this from me in other webinars or other videos if you've been watching any of our content. It's this number of 70%. And what 70% means is that by the time a family even talks to somebody on your admissions team or comes on campus, 70% of their mind is already made up about where they're going to apply and enroll. And again, if we think about why that's the case right now, it's because of all of the access to information that we have, right? It's all the social media, it's the content on your website, it's all of those review sites that families like to go to. It's the parent groups on Facebook where parents are talking to each other and getting advice. So all of these different places that parents have the ability to learn and research your school, they're just coming on campus and talking to folks on your admissions team to get confirmation about what they already know. So what that means is, it is vitally important that you need to be creating content that is answering the question going on in the parents' minds as they're searching, as they're researching your school and other schools. So think about, why do parents come to your school? Why don't they come to your school? What makes your school unique? Those are all the things that you need to be creating content around to help, quote unquote, sell your school before you even talk to that family. All right? So again, now that's the important part. So if you first need to understand why content is so important, and if you're not creating content, or if you don't know how important it is, it's not a suggestion anymore to have a blog or to do social media content. If you want to win with your marketing and move the needle in whatever the results you're looking to achieve, whether it's inquiries, on-campus visits, ultimately enrollment, you need to be creating content more than ever. Now, again, that gets back to the problem at hand though. How do we create the content? With all the other things we have going on, how do we create it, right? So I want to give you 2 very easy ways for you to create content without writing a single word. First tip, first tactic that I have for you, it's what's called the crowdsource post. So we're going to crowdsource. So we're talking about posts, we're talking about blog posts. This can be on social media, it can be on a blog. Again, if you don't have a blog, this can help jumpstart your blog. If you're not writing on it consistently, this can help get you going and get some traction. So the first type of post I want you to go create is what's called a crowdsource post. And what that means is, think about one question that you could go ask, for example, your faculty, right? So our research here at ISM tells us that one of the #1 reasons that families attend a school and stay at a school is because of the faculty and the value they get from the faculty. So you really want to highlight your faculty in your content. So one of the things you can do is Think about one question that you can ask 10 faculty members at your school, 5 faculty members at your school. And maybe you ask, what's the one thing your students look forward to every single year in your class? What's the #1 most inspirational thing you're doing in your classroom? All right, one simple question. Let the teachers answer that question. Their answers become your blog post. So the only thing you really have to do is introduce the concept and say, hey, we asked 10 of our teachers what's the #1 most inspirational thing they do in their classroom every single year, and their answers will provide all of the content that you need. And at the end of that blog post, you say, you know, if you want to learn more about what life on campus is really like and actually talk to our teachers, come to an open house, come to a shadow day, come on campus for a private tour. Whatever your call to action is, you now have a full-blown blog post where you barely had to write a word. You can do that with your faculty. You can do it with your students as well. Okay? What are the questions you can ask your students about, you know, what's the #1 reason why you chose the school? All right? So that's a good example for you. The second type of post that you can create, again, whether it's for a blog post or even on social media, is interview content. All right? Very simply, you can interview somebody. Maybe it's an alumni, maybe it's another faculty member, right? You can just set up an interview and come up with 5 or 6 questions for your interview and just record it. Now, if you feel comfortable about doing a video, you know, if you had to wave the magic wand and you could create the perfect piece of content, I would always suggest you start with video, because if you have video, you can repurpose that into a blog post. If you take the transcript, you can obviously use the video for different social media channels, or you can even use the audio, especially if you have your own podcast, use the audio. So perfect world scenario is get a video interview done. We actually do a lot of those here at ISM, and we repurpose that into our blog posts and into content around social media. So if you could start with video, great. But if you can't, go ahead, interview somebody, just get them on a call, record the phone call, and then get it transcribed. There's a lot of transcription services online that can transcribe an entire hour's worth of content for like $10. All right, so look around. We'll give you some resources in the description to this video of other places you can go to transcribe some content to help you in that. But just go and interview somebody, and the words from that interview, from the recording, can go right into the blog post. Maybe you could take snippets of that and put it onto your social media and repurpose that across the web. So that, again, you want to create quality content, yes, but quantity these days is also very important. So if you can get stuff on your website, get stuff across all the social media channels. Can you share this content with any of your feeder schools? Right? Imagine if a feeder school has access to this content, a family's reading about why students will come to your school. Maybe you're a high school. It'd be great for middle school parents to be reading that as well. So think about all the creative ways you can use this content, but the #1 thing you need to do is just get going, right? That's kind of the hardest thing for you to do, just get going. And here are 2 ways that you can jumpstart your content creation. Comment below, right? What have you found challenging? What have you found as an easy way to create content that you could share with other administrators that are in your position as the marketer at your school? You know, if you like what you heard and you want to keep up with the latest marketing and missions and fundraising strategies, head on over to go.isminc.com/Academy20. This will take you to our 2020 Advancement Academy page, and if you're not familiar with the Academy, it's an immersive 5-day professional development experience designed to strengthen and align your school's marketing, admission, and fundraising strategy. And if you have been to the Academy before, we actually have 16 brand new sessions this year that you are not going to want to miss. On this page, when you scroll down, click on the Schedule tab. And so this way you can see the full lineup of sessions, including all of the new sessions we have this year, such as Admissions Funnel Forensics and Mastering Inbound Marketing. And when you click on the links, this will give you a description of what you can expect to learn in that session. And one of the things that makes the Academy so unique and one of the most transformational professional development opportunities available is the mentorship. It is the mentorship, and you will be given an expert mentor to guide you every step of the way to help you select sessions that are ideal for your goals. And your mentor is actually going to help you build your action plan so that you're going to be able to return back to campus with an implementable plan. And one of the great things about all ISM workshops is if you are not satisfied with your event for any reason, ISM will give you a full 100% refund, no questions asked. And last thing, one thing you need to know is that we cap the Advancement Academy at 110 participants. And this workshop sold out last year by April. So if you like what you see and you want to make sure you get your spot reserved, you can learn more about the Academy and how to register at go.isminc.com/Academy20. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in Philadelphia for this year's Advancement Academy.